25 cars, actually, to be precise, it's 25 cars, one motorbike and one race transporter from the 1960s. These probably are the centerpieces of the collection. Of course, the Ford GT40, the Porsche 917 and the Porsche 908, which is known mostly for the Targa Florio and for the 1,000 kilometers of the Nürburgring. Why this collection? Well, I originally started collecting or buying classic cars in order to race them because I caught the bug, if you so want, in rather late in life and wanted to start race classic cars. So I started buying classic cars to race them and then wanted to give the collection a theme. And that was never been done before, was to create a collection around the livery of a sponsor. And there's no other sponsor other than Gulf, really, that can tell the story for the last 50 years as the blue and orange of Gulf Oil can. Starting in the 1960s, obviously with the GT40 in 68 and 69, and the 917, probably the most iconic car of all of them, made famous also by Steve McQueen in the movie Le Mans. The 917 is a very special car, elegant and powerful, very, very special. As far as racing is concerned, the 908, which I've raced in historic racing myself, is very, very special. It's like a go-kart on steroids. It's exceptional to drive, the Porsche 908 3. John Wyer, who ran the Gulf team at the time, developed his own cars with Ford DFV engine in there. Same Ford DFV engine that was used in Formula One, but tuned down for endurance racing. So there you have got actually 5 cars which are from the line of Mirage. And this car, the GR7, came 4th in Le Mans in 1974, and that actually the GR8, all with the Ford DFV engine, won Le Mans outright in 1975. I started buying one by one together with my friend Adrian Hamilton, who is a classic car dealer and an expert in his field, and he knew all the relevant owners. Now, to get them to sell is not that easy neither. Fortunately, I started early enough. I mean, early enough, I should have started 20 or 30 years ago, but 10 years ago it was still possible to get key pieces like these out of the owner's hands if you paid the right price. Today it would be, I think, almost impossible to replicate this kind of collection in today's market. So one by one I built up this collection, and once I started to run out of the models and works cars in the blue and traditional blue and orange, I turned my attention to Formula One cars, because I'm racing in historic Formula One events as well. So then found out that Mclaren was sponsored by Gulf in the 1970s, albeit not with the Gulf colors, because Bruce McLaren always wanted to have his cars on the orange. By the way, do you know why they're all yellow-orange, all the McLarens from the time, why he chose that color? So at the time it was black and white television only. And orange, or yellow-orange, like the McLaren orange, on television, on black and white television, stands out compared to all the other cars. This one is a car I usually race at the Monaco Historic Grand Prix. So in May we will be there with this car, participating in the Monaco Historic. This car actually we still use as a training car. With this car we used in GT3 races. This is when I started racing myself in modern cars. That's why I bought that car at the time. So here we have also quite important pieces of the collection. This is the McLaren F1 short tail. This is the McLaren F1 long tail. Gulf had a sponsorship agreement with McLaren for their comeback to Le Mans and sponsored the obviously very famous F1. It's probably the last kind of car with which you theoretically could drive to Le Mans, go into the 24-hour race, race it and drive back home afterwards. This is a speciality as well. This is the only Audi that ever raced in Gulf colors. This used to be an Audi works car in Infineon colors, gray and yellow. And then Stefan Johansson bought it and set up a team himself for 1 year and raced it in Le Mans. Stefan Johansson, the former Ferrari Formula One driver. All these are Can-Am cars. Can-Am, the American Can-Am series, no limits. So these are Can-Am cars raced by Bruce McLaren himself. This one was Jackie Stewart. This one is very special to me as well, because this is the car where I've participated in the 24 Hours Le Mans myself. Then another very fantastic car. In its time, it was probably the best GT1 car around. It's the Aston Martin DBR9 GT1. This one was probably the fastest petrol car in the LMP1 category at its time. It's the Lola Aston Martin LMP1. When the diesels came, they were unbeatable, but this one was the fastest petrol-powered car of its time. Well, the colors were so iconic because when I was young, I remember those colors. It was 1968, I must have been 8, when a car in Gulf colors first won at Le Mans. So it stuck in my mind, and all the cars which I always loved.